that you hear her voice here too all the time. This song, for me, I use it for every aspect in my life, to be honest. Yeah, because you cannot go in anything that you're not planning to come out successful. Win means success. Win means ahead. Win means next level. So I will share our signature tune quickly, then we can start our day. Mm. Mm. I hope all of us can hear the sound.
Bringing hope, shining the light. We're a nation, we are rising with one love, with one hope, bringing solution, lifting up humanity. Let's rise high, standing tall, hand in hand. We are the unicorn, we are the stars.
of the closing doors, please.
Okay, on mute. Yes, we're in it to win it. So let's move on. I'm not going to drag. Thank you, my dear sister, for blessing us with that song and the voice. Let me tell you, sometimes just play this for yourself. Just play it for yourself. Right? I know it started because of one thing, but it actually resonates for me for anything in my life. So over to you, Queen Irene and Queen Kanla.
All right. Thank you, Queen Dr. Pat. We appreciate that lovely music. It's soothing to the soul. And we thank you, just adding my voice to thank our Queen and Sister Lerato for gifting us with that. Welcome, welcome, everyone. Welcome, Dream Team family. Whether you are watching or listening on YouTube or you are here with Zoom, we are excited and thrilled to have you back again on Sunday. Today is going to be another special day for us to be educated. Today is another exciting day for us to be here, to be able to be nourished, our mindset by our queen, our leaders, who always come every Sunday and nourish our soul spiritually as well. So if you're just joining, welcome, 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 and we will continue to welcome you as we continue the webinar for today. So I will be coordinating with my Queen and Sister Irene. Queen Irene, over to you, and then we can introduce our mindset reader for the day. Okay. I will just, yes, I will just continue to introduce our mindset presenter for today, who is going to be none other than our Queen and Sister Yvonne, to begin the webinar with our mindset. We know she is special with our mindset whenever she comes. She is no stranger to us. So, Queen Sister, I will just say, take it away. Our
Thank you,
eyes,
sister.
our ears, and our hearts are open to listen to you.
All right. Thank you so much for that short introduction. You know I like those, right? So thank you very much. So greetings, everyone, and thank our Heavenly Father for bringing us back together again. No matter where we are in this world, we always do what Dr. Benny says. We have to thank him for the very breath in our lungs. It's not by anything special we did, it's by his grace. And I see Dr. Benny over there. Greetings, Dr. Benny. There she is. So today, I'm calling this one The Caged Wolf, and it's when focus actually becomes the real threat. I recently heard this story about a wolf in a cage. Now, the wolf was dangerous, he was powerful, he was wild, and he was capable of harm. But the cage was secure, it was locked, it was reinforced, and the observer stood at a safe distance and yet could not stop watching the wolf. Not because they were in danger, but because they were transfixed. Their eyes never left the cage. And so while they stood there watching something that could not touch them, life continued happening behind them. And that is when the realization struck me that the caged wolf is not the problem. The misplaced focus on it is, though. Many of us are not exhausted because life is attacking us. We are exhausted because we are watching cages. We are watching past hurts, monitoring people who have no access to us anymore, replaying old offenses, tracking old failures, guarding memories that cannot harm us, and we cannot do anything about. The threat is contained, but our attention is not. So today, there is our acronym that frames this concept. It is about the silent thief of potential, and it's the word focus and attention misallocation. So the first letter in the word F, it's a false threat. The wolf is real, but the danger is not. This represents a past trauma, someone else's dysfunction or bad behavior, an old mistake, a situation that has already ended. We are responding emotionally to something that no longer has access to us. We are reacting to history as if it is happening now. And psychologist says the brain does not know the difference. It's the emotion that the brain will read. So we play it over and over. And the second word is obsessive observation, and that's the O in focus. You keep checking the cage, you replay conversations, you stalk old problems in your mind, you monitor people who are no longer part of your life. People go online and they spend hours and hours tracking somebody who has no connection to them anymore, but they want to know what this person is doing what. You are emotionally pacing in front of a cage. And now I just want to make a little disclaimer. For some people, this is not simply a mindset habit, which is what we're talking about here, mindset and choice. It can be a real trauma response, an anxiety loop, or something that may need professional support. If that is you, this is not a message of self-blame or to beat yourself up. It is an invitation to seek the help that allows you to reclaim your focus safely. Please hear me. So as I go on, I said, this is rumination, but for us who are talking about just a straight mindset where we have choices, it's hypervigilance, it's mental surveillance, and you are guarding what no longer needs guarding. And the C is cognitive drain. Attention, as we know, is a limited resource. So while you watch the cage, creativity drops, peace drops, energy drops, clarity drops, not because the wolf is attacking you, but because watching it is exhausting you. Distraction drains more from life than danger would. And the U in the word is unseen opportunities. This is where it becomes confronting, because while you are watching the wolf, life is happening behind you. Opportunities walk by, new relationships form, ideas come and go. Joy sits down right beside you, but you miss it all because your eyes are fixed on what is contained instead of what is possible. The eyes on the wolf with your back to life. And then the S in the word, shift intentionally. This is not automatic. It is a choice. As all these big concepts are, they're all choices. You must be intentional about them. You must deliberately turn your attention away from the cage, not because the wolf isn't real, but because it no longer poses a threat. It is no longer relevant. So you shift toward what you can build, what you can influence, what is alive, what is present. The cage is locked. You don't have to keep watch. What we pay attention to shapes our emotional reality more than what is actually happening to us. We think our stress comes from events, but often it comes from where we keep placing our attention. Again, I will say, the wolf is caged, but your attention is not. And until you move it, the attention, you remain emotionally captive to something that cannot harm you. And so in closing, I'd like to say freedom is not only removing threats from your life, it is removing unnecessary attention to them. Some of us don't need new opportunities. We need to stop watching old cages. So the wolf is not your problem, but focusing on it is. The Bible says, forgetting what lies behind, I press on to what is ahead of me. This is from Paul in Philippians. The danger is that we are allowing the past to hurt us by distracting us from the open roads we are not choosing to see. We're giving our attention to something that has no power left except the power we give it by focusing on it. We often think the danger of our past is that it will break out and ruin our future. But the real tragedy isn't the wolf, it's the distraction that looking at the wolf presents. We stand paralyzed, staring at the cage of our missed opportunities, our past mistake, our unfulfilled promises. Watching them pace back and forth in our mind, we give our best energy to a beast that is already locked away. But every second we spend watching that cage is a second we aren't looking at the horizon. And while the call to forget what lies behind isn't a suggestion to ignore history, it's a command to stop feeding the animals that no longer have a place in your life. The cage is locked. The wolf is contained. So now let's turn around. There's a high calling ahead of you and me that requires our full attention. Stop watching the cave and start pressing towards the prize. Your past is a museum, it's not your mission. Visit it if you must, but don't set up camp in front of the exhibits. Your life is happening in the other direction. Thank you for listening. That's me.
Oh my goodness, that is beautifully presented. That is profound, Queen Yvonne. I may be the only one giving you a loud round of applause, but I know
No, Dr. Bennett is. I see
I'm
her
doing
over
it on
there.
behalf of everyone present here because wow, wow, wow.
Thank you, my sister.
That is so profound. And what I can say is you have taken a very sensitive, complicated theme and you have presented it in a straightforward manner in which it is not confrontational, it is not judgmental.
Exactly.
But every one of us has that cage.
Yep.
My cage may be different from yours.
Of course. Yes.
And the tendency as fellow humans is that we fail to see our own cage, but we try to point out what the next person's cage is. And then we do not learn from it when we fail to see our own cages, but then we are stuck. And when we are stuck, we start looking for new opportunities. I loved that sentence you made mention by saying, we do not need new opportunities to be presented to us, but we need to stop watching that cage because that is the distraction. That is actually what is, in some cases, limiting us to the new opportunity, or actually like really stops you from moving forward to the future.
Yep, that's
And
exactly
until
it.
we do that, then God's will and fulfillment in your life will delay until we learn or we change and be able to open up and allow that transformation, because we have to do it in order to move forward. So
thank you. Thank you.
I mean, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. That is just so profound. That is just so profound. Let me see. Is there any other leader who may want to say something? Though I did not use any particular example, but for me, I know some people, my cage, one thing I know, for example, when I was about to travel here, I had some of my dresses. I have some things that I will not want to give away.
Yes.
I will hold on to, and and I say, I'm not giving. But then by the time I keep keeping those things, I don't tend to see the new things. I don't change myself. I don't transform myself into the new me that I need to be, because I'm still holding on to that who I used to be by you looking through the lens of that dress or that clothing. Then for me, a second one is career path. When you get consistent trials or difficulties to achieve where you believe or you think you're supposed to be at this point in time. And I am not yet there, but guess what? I am still holding on to what I think I should have been, instead of letting it go and look at what it is now that I can do to move forward and then be able to achieve that.
Yes, yes.
So
Very
in
true.
academia and career, yes. So to me, those, I mean, as you were saying, that is what I was just thinking. All right, let me not overtalk. Let us hear briefly from other leaders what they think.
I tell you.
Any hand raised? One or two before we move on to our presenter for today.
Well, yeah. Oh, well, Dr. P wants to say something first. Let her go ahead.
No. When Queen Yvonne speak, I try not to say much because what am I saying again? Go ahead, Dr. B.
No, well, she talks up. Oh, by the way, excellent. Before I proceed, I want to take this special moment to say Happy New Month! Happy New Month, right? This is Happy New
Yes,
Month.
See,
yes,
that's why we need you, Dr. B. I actually forgot it was February 1st. That's why God put you here to remind us of the blessing to cross into a new month. Thank you, my dear.
Yes,
Man,
yes.
guess what?
Yes,
My
we
son was
do.
born this month. Today is the birthday
Ooh.
of my son. So,
Yes, happy birthday to your son.
Oh,
Happy
happy birthday
to
to
the proud
him.
mama.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
man. I just want to thank God. Oh, there is nothing else but to thank our Heavenly Father for bringing each and every one. We
Yes.
did not know that we will see the month of February.
No,
It is
that's
because
true.
of our Heavenly Father. There is
Amen.
nothing like Him. He woke all of us up this morning for a
He did.
purpose. The air
Yes.
that you are breathing, you're not paying for it. Are you, Dr. John? No, Dr. John, you are not breathing. Well, let me just say, I just want to thank God. And I'm screaming because I'm excited. I just want to thank God for all of us here. There is
Thank you.
nothing else. And
You're
sometimes
right.
when I pray to God, right?
Mhm.
At first, I say, Father, please. I used to get mad at my enemies, but this time I say, Father, bless all my enemies in the name of
Amen.
Jesus.
Yep.
Amen.
Anyway, thank you so much for this mindset. As you said, the eyes on the wolf, which I believe it suggests the constant vigilance towards danger or powerful threat.
Mhm.
And staying alert is one of the things that we have to be alert of, which means that you have to watch closer for danger. You know, sometimes there are a lot of people that are closer to you. See the way they smile, like American way. Mhm. They're not real.
Ah, sister.
It's good to tell the truth now, right?
It is. It is.
Now we talk about awareness of hidden motives, right? The wolves out there, they're often symbols of intelligence, right? And strategic. Now look at the eyes on the wolf can simply means that the awareness of manipulation as well as deception, right? Or underlying intention. There are certain things that they are doing that you and I, we just have to be very careful and be very vigilant of what is going on. We talk about observation, like us in the leadership. I mean, everybody's a leader, right? Everybody's a leader. We talk in a competitive setting. So it can mean like studying strong competitors carefully to understand their motives before what? Acting. Anyway, I just want to appreciate your mindset. I want to thank you that you're always there when Queen Lerato is not.
Thank
We
you, sister.
appreciate we love you too much. Thank you.
Thank you, sister. Thank you.
Yes, please.
Appreciate that.
Yes. Queen
Thank
Carla,
you.
proceed, sweetheart.
Amen. I'm just adding amen to that. Thank you, our Queen First Lady. We need you. We need to hear that voice, and we miss that beautiful smile. It's a delight to always say it. All right, Queen Dr. Pat.
Yep. I'm here. I didn't have anything to say. I said when Queen Yvonne speaks, there's nothing to say again. You know, if I start now, because today I don't want us to. If I start now, I will not end. So let's just leave it at that today. Thank you, Queen Yvonne. That was beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right. But hopefully, as we get to the end, you will be able to still say one or two things. All right. If you have any questions or any comments, please do not, we are not able to, once we get into the presentation for Queen Yvonne to get back to you, but leave a comment in the chat, or once our main presenter for today is finished, we can still circle back and have a conversation with Queen Yvonne. Yes, if time permits. So without much further ado, we have come to our guest presentation for the day. Oh my goodness. When we always have the opportunity to have our king and our doctor, Dr. John Ajongwen, being the main presenter, it sends chills, because beautiful butterflies, like we say, because we know we are going to get very rich, valuable information that is so relatable that we do in our lives on a daily basis. But just because some of us have not been exposed to this information, or some of us have not have the opportunity to put them into practice, he brings it to the table. He brings it to us to be able to see in these areas where and how we can be able to make life or our lives better. Financial education, I cannot even remember how many series he has been able to educate us with, but it's a lot, and we have that. And now we have another angle that he's going to grace us with today, the evolution of banking. Is there anyone here who doesn't have a bank account? I don't think so. But do we know all what it takes for you to have that account? Having it is one thing, maintaining and running it is another. So let us put our hands together and wait to receive these nuggets from none other than my mentor, someone I respect, someone I look forward to, Dr. John Ajongwen. Please, over to you.
Oh, wow. I didn't know you were talking about me.
Welcome,
Anyway,
Dr. John.
I don't even know what to say. Queen Yvonne, all I can say is amen to that. I mean,
Thank you.
that one was probably one of the deepest mindsets that you've really thrown out there. And
Thank
how often we just get stuck watching that cage.
you. Yep.
And thank you for that mindset.
Thank
And
you,
if there's
sir.
nothing else that we've gained here today, that's really a great one to warm us up from this cold. You see, I'm nicely warmed up and stood up because it's a lovely 5 degrees outside. Very warm. Hey, guys, I experienced minus 45 degrees last week in ICE, in capital letters, aka Minnesota. Anyway, today's topic is different, so let me not get there because I may get on a different soapbox. Last week I just thought, let's just come and do like a very quick intro, and I'll try as fast as I can to keep this within 1 hour because I have a 2:45 hard stop. I'm jumping onto another Zoom. So we'll try as much as possible to talk about the evolution of banking, which I think every one of us know or we have been seeing it. And so I just want to throw a couple of things so that maybe some of us have been stuck in a cage of what we thought was a bank, and it's moving ahead and leaving us there. So the first, as I said, I'm just going to go quickly through this, and if we can't answer all questions, so it's really not something that's going to lead to questions and answers a lot, but it's more an awareness. But we can actually dive deeper into some of the aspects in our future meetings. So now let me make sure okay. So the first thing is if you look at the slide, let me just go back. I had a subtitle from brick and mortar to digital assets and crypto. So that's all to do with banking. And this question is, why is banking actually changed? There've been a lot of things that have, just like evolution, we have technology, we have, our own demands for convenience. if you think of even the food industry and think about how families used to sit on the table and eat, and then they went to all these fast food meals because people wanted, and now we're into this super 2-minute, 2-second deliver at home, and people just throw in an air fryer or a microwave. Banking is also evolving. And obviously, with all these changes, as costs and efficiencies to actually tackle the bottom line come into play. So we know that when we're growing up, whenever you say, I'm going to the bank, you were going to some physical building where you actually met somebody face to face. And banks actually had things that you hear about, ledgers and so on. They were really physical things that those guys with nice writings would write everything down. We had passbooks, we had, all those nice things that, you go in there and they calculate your balance and they write it out there for you. Obviously, there was a lot of, you knew your banker, there was a lot of face-to-face interaction. But then when the bank was open, you went and did your banking. When the bank was not open, you waited. If you were unlucky and you stuck behind some idiot like me who had a lot of questions they wanted to ask the bank manager or the teller, you could be, I need to get this done in the next 5 minutes. And 25 minutes later, I'm still there. So the transactions were slow. But what happened was people really, because they had these personal relationships, there was a lot of trust that was built between the banks and the institutions, to the extent that when I moved from one city to another, I went to the same branch of the bank because, I love the bank and I love the people there. So those type of traditional banks, as we know, those personal relations, the stability was great. And we knew that the regulatory authorities had a lot of control over those. And as I said, overheads, managing those relationships, the geographical limitations, as well as the speed of the processes, were things that even the banks themselves were realizing to be some limitations to themselves. So they moved into phase 2, which was literally the same thing, the same bank, but then they tried to make things a bit more efficient and a bit, I would say, faster. And so we evolved into the era of internet or online banking. So now you could actually pay your bills online. You received electronic statements. We had the ATM that you could just slot a card in there and pull out money. And our kids grew up knowing that, those were free gifts that mom and dad just need to go to drive up to one of those things and take money. And so they did not know how managing their finances was all about, because they just knew all you need to do is drive up to that box and get some money anyway. And if you challenge them, say, I put the money there, they'll tell you, hell no, we never ever see you put money, because even those early ATMs didn't have the option for you to be able to deposit, only to withdraw. Obviously, those ones, they were still controlled by the banks. They were centralized. But what that did was, if all you needed was to go get some money, you didn't have to go stand on the line and wait for somebody. And wait for somebody to and wait for somebody to finish their transaction. So the other part of it was that the online banking really gave us what they call the 24/7 access. You didn't have to go to the bank at 3 p.m. in the afternoon because they were closing at 4. You could go at any time of the day. It resulted in a lot of faster transfers, greater transparency, because you could go in and check your balance as is. You didn't have to actually go and let somebody do a calculation and update your passbook or your register. So the online banking, or the step 2, actually led to this idea of improving the convenience, but without eliminating the physical bank. And then we moved into a third era, which a lot of people sort of did not realize it, that the online banking and the phase three were like slightly different, because in addition to all this convenience and so on, the banks themselves started developing apps. So now you had mobile apps that you could literally, instead of going to the ATM to go and actually do your transaction, your bank now became your cell phone. You could do transactions, you could transfer money to other places, and you could pay your bills from the app, and you could literally have real-time alerts of transactions going into or out of your account. So those ones basically came up with the idea of the digital and mobile banking. There was no longer a need for you to go to any particular fixed location to do your banking. Although the downside of that is that a lot of the banks started even also rationalizing or streamlining their services and closing a lot of branches, which made banking really become an inconvenience if you really wanted to do some services. But what has also developed in this era three are what we actually call digital banks or digital only banks. You know, there are quite a lot of banks, things like some of the Capital One, Mercury. You can literally open an account only online. They don't have a physical address, and they have a business address, but they don't have a physical brick and mortar. And so a lot of people were thinking, is this just the extension of the online banking? No, this is really the digital banking that has moved on. And you started having there that, okay, the banks, because they were utilizing technology, now most of our kids that are growing up, they probably never seen a physical bank, because they have the mobile app. They can go online and they create a mobile banking. Your pay can be deposited directly into an account. You can use, in addition to apps, you started having things like Cash App, you had WhatsApp, PayPal, you had starting Venmo, and all of these other payment platforms that came on and brought in this idea of digital banking, so that you didn't really need to sit down and do any of these banking transactions. In fact, I cannot remember if no, I don't. Yeah, I have a credit union account for my twin girls. They don't even know where the hell the account is, but they manage it. We open the account for them. Now you don't even need to go to a bank, because you do everything online now, and they have CDs, they have all of this. Everything is gone digital. So it gave them a lot of like a better experience. They were like, every day you get a different aspect of this digital banking taking place. And some of us, I'll say the older generation, we freaked out by this, because the technology is gone so fast that we're not sure whether this is a safe way. Since you used to know your bank manager, if there was a mistake in your account, you definitely knew you had to go see Mr. Smith and discuss. Now, your money is in cyberspace somewhere and you don't really know what is going on. And so there are concerns from us, the people that were used to the brick and mortar. And now our younger generation is very savvy. And I mean, I can share a story like between my wife and our children, where the kids will owe you some money and they say, oh, we want to give you money. Give me a check. What's a check? So we had to get to a point that we literally, as Queen Yvonne was saying, we had to move out of the cage of the brick and mortar bank where we're asking for checks and start signing up for Venmo and Cash App and so on, in order to get our money, because that was the only way that the kids could do transaction with you. If you want your money, okay, bank the way that I bank. And so some of these digital banking methodologies, they've actually taken off across the world, and it really is convenient in a way because you can be somewhere and you pay your bills without really, whether you're out of the country or so. So there is a convenience aspect to that. And now we moved to the fourth era, which is probably where things have sort of taken a different dimension. So it is what they call the DeFi, decentralized financial systems, and that's where the crypto and the blockchain comes into play. But you see here words like ledger used, haha, ledger, but now this ledger is not the hard copy book that the bank people used to write. It's a computer code somewhere. But this particular blockchain and crypto transactions, as we all know, they have basically changed the world in the sense that there is no central authority that controls them right now. We used to have the banks, and then we had the central banks, but now we know of Bitcoin, we know of the Binance coin, we know of XRP and all the Ethereum. Nobody really knows who controls those. Everything is on a blockchain. The beauty of that is that it actually allows a lot of peer-to-peer transactions. So if I wanted to send something to Queen Canla, I just didn't have to either go to the bank and send her a check. She deposits it into her account. I just go in, what do you want? You want USDT? Bam, we're done, finished, peer-to-peer. But what that also did, especially with these crypto assets, is that it started moving the custody of your assets from the financial institution to yourself. So you got a situation where there's no central authority. You don't have a border, because I can pay somebody in Timbuktu Bitcoin like in the microseconds, and it's always on. I don't have to wait till 6 p.m. or for 9 a.m. for the banks to open. But the main thing is that my funds now, they are controlled by me. Their funds are not necessarily sitting in the bank where I have to find out if the bank is very safe or so. They are under my control. And instead of having all these ledgers and so on, these transactions are controlled by smart contracts, which basically automate everything. And so now we move from our fiat money or the paper money to these crypto monies, where we start having things like Bitcoins and all the cryptocurrencies that I mentioned. They become the what we use to actually store our value now. Because you used to say, I have, $5,000 in my account. Now that bank account was a store of your value. Now it's like, I have $5,000 worth of crypto. Or you also could, instead of crypto, you have other things that they call like stable coins. So when you go into the crypto market now, you have like the crypto itself, like the Binance, the Bitcoin, the Ethereums, as well as stable coins like the USDC and USDT. Those are like stable because they're literally like digital dollars. The value is almost like, say, 1-to-1. So if you have 100 USDC today, that's about $100. In 10 weeks' time, you look at it, it's still about $100 plus minus. If you have 100 Bitcoin today, it might be $1 million today, and tomorrow it might be $10,000. So just a difference between those Bitcoins and the stable coins, in the sense that the stable coin exchange rate stays kind of fixed. But the beauty of the cryptos is that they have actually led us to be able to have all this decentralized trading and lending, which is giving a headache to the traditional regulatory authorities, because unfortunately, when we start looking at what are the risks and the advantages of using this new type of currency, we know that the traditional banks were slow. Yes, they were costly. We know that the digital banks are fast, they're almost instantaneous. But then, as Queen Benny has been teaching us over and over and over, this idea of cybersecurity is probably the biggest risk, because if somebody gets access to your assets, you're done. You know, banks used, like at least in the US, used to have what we called USDCs and USDTs. FDIC insures. And let me just stop this one and pull up another slide which has a bit more clarity on it. 1 second. This one is messing me up. Just bear with me. Just bear with me, bear with me, bear with me. I just messed up somewhere here. Why is this? Okay, this one is cleaner. I don't like what I'm seeing. Yeah, you guys are gonna like this one. It makes it slideshow. Okay. Okay, this one is nicer. Let me go back here. I actually had one which had some cool graphics, and then the text was readable better. And this one, yeah. Why get a draft when you can get the real thing? Okay. So as I was just talking about it, you know, when we talked about the user controllability of the funds, and this is the slide I was talking about, where when you look at it as a store of value, you actually had like your Bitcoin, your Ethereum, your BNBs, and so on. And then the stable coins that I was mentioning as the USDT, USDC, and the idea that with crypto, you can actually have cross-border payment as well as decentralized lending and trading, which has really been creating headaches with the central authorities to a point where countries are playing catch up on this system of banking, and they're trying to put regulations. And at the moment, there are no unified regulations, because there's some countries that have adopted crypto much faster than others, and some of the central banks are jumping into it. Some of the governments, like in the US government, they're beginning to see value and they want to get in. But when it comes to crypto, obviously, we have been used to some terms like, you know, having your wallet and having your bank account. And now you get into this realm of this phase 4 banking, and they start using the same words. Do they really mean the same? So let's just look at it just from a very high level to maybe help understand when people start talking about, oh, I want to get into my wallet, or I want to get into my platform. So we understand some of these basic criteria. So digital wallets, you know, you can just think of your wallet, whatever wallet you carry in your pocketbook or whatever. You know, if you have like a little wallet, if you have a few dollars, you actually keep your dollar bills inside your wallet. And in the crypto world, just think about it the same way. These are tools that actually they hold your money. Because you have your wallet, you keep it safe in your pocket. You need to also make sure that your digital wallet is kept secret. So most of them come with private keys, and that you need to keep very, very, very safe. And some of them are online, and some of them are cold wallets. So you hear the word cold wallet, which is literally like a physical credit card that holds, or it could even be like a thumb drive that holds the private key on the card or on the physical asset, versus that private key being stored somewhere on the blockchain ledger. And then you have the idea that with your wallet, you control your assets and the responsibility stays with you. There's no FDIC insurance in the assets that you have in your crypto wallet. So when you think about wallets, things like MetaMask, Trust wallets, ledgers, they're quite a few of them that are out there as examples of wallets that people use. Now, you have some other platforms that people also use because you can manage everything either with your wallet or through a platform. But really think about the platform or the exchanges like our new digital banks. So these are companies that actually manage wallets on our behalf. They allow us to buy, sell, store stuff. And you can think about it, as I said, as being equivalent to your bank or your brokerage account, except that maybe you never probably, the nearest you ever come to a banking manager is chat to a customer service person. Again, these platforms or the exchanges, they actually control how you access and they provide the security in most cases. Obviously, you still need your security keys, you still need your password to be able to log in, just like you need your personal pins to be able to go get money from your ATM. But these are two different aspects. And I know a lot of us now, because they have like a Coinbase account, which can double up as a wallet as well as an exchange platform. In many cases, the wallets some of the wallets will allow you to do some transactions like buy, sell crypto and exchange it, but not as much as you would do on an exchange or a platform. Well, so if you think about it, just to bring it down one more notch, if you think of the traditional banks that we have, they hold our money. And your physical wallet, as I showed you, holds your cash in there. In the crypto world, the exchanges are like the banks, and the digital wallets are your wallets. And so you just need to understand how they are and what you do with them. But as I had mentioned earlier, obviously, these are the critical risks when it comes to dealing with either our traditional banks or with the digital banks or with the crypto. Because with the digital banks, as I mentioned, if somebody can hack into your phone or hack into your computer, they have access to all your online banking and all that good stuff. In your crypto, I did mention that you can have your money in Bitcoin today. You don't know how many dollars or how many, whatever your local currency is, because it depends on the value at that day. There's a lot of volatility. And the fact that you have 100 Bitcoin does not mean when you want to use it tomorrow, it's going to be 100 Bitcoin worth of what you were able to buy. It can go up, come down. But scamming becomes a big issue with crypto. So just to look at a quick, what I call a summary slide on how banks have evolved and what are some of the features of this evolution. If you think about it, traditional banks, the access was in person. The bank controlled your funds. Yes, they were slow, but the trust was based on humans and regulations. When it got to the online banking, you were talking of working on the web. The banks still control the access because what the banks did was they just made it a bit more convenient for us. You're still doing an online banking to a particular bank. It gave us a lot more flexibility and faster speed of processing. You still relied on the banks to do the primary control of your assets. So in that way, you were trusting still the bank. When it moved to digital banking, you got into a point where it was no longer just sitting in front of a computer, it became mobile. Your apps and so on became the main way to access your funds. Those were still primarily held within the bank. And with those digital assets, you actually had literally almost instantaneous access and processing, because whatever you were doing, transferring monies and so on, you were doing it in real time. And everything again still settled down to the financial institutions that owned and controlled those assets, because you were doing mobile banking on a Bank of America or Chase Bank, or even some of those virtual banks, as I mentioned. And then we just moved completely now into this new world of crypto, where, access is everywhere. Anywhere you can have access to the internet, that's your bank. The critical aspect of it is that the aspect of control has switched from the bank to you and me. So we carry the risk. When you lose your entire set of assets, there is no FDIC insurance that will give you $250,000 because somebody scammed you. The beauty of it is, if you get up at 3 a.m. and you think you want to send somebody something, you don't have to wait for the bank to open. And we are relying on math and codes to be able to provide those trust models, which again, the risk aspect of it is somebody wrote that code. Yes, some of those codes are immutable, but bad actors play a game and they can also play around. And that's why we know a lot about these crypto scams and all that news that is going on. And so, takeaways, just to bring it to a close, is that banking has become faster and is more accessible, which is good. But the trust models have shifted. That trusted bank manager, we used to have relationship managers that you can go meet Mr. Jones, and they take you into a room, they remember you face by name, and they could ask you about your kids and what is going on in your personal life. That has shifted, because now it's very impersonal. And as a result, we know that these opportunities that we have really come in with both risks and opportunities. Cybersecurity and scamming being two of the big risks that, with us being in control, we need to be aware. And I really want to thank Dr. Benny, because she has been hammering this to us a lot. Guess what? The evolution is not done. We know there is stuff coming down the pike. We don't know what the future of banking looks like. We know governments are struggling to catch up with the technology, and the technology is struggling to stay 1 or 2 steps ahead of all the regulatory authorities. So it's just like everything that's happening in the world. There are lots of moving parts that we need to be aware. And as the future goes, we may at some point end up with some sort of digital central banks. We know that there's some countries that are trying to create digital type of central bank where they can do some exchanges as an alternative to the dollar. There'll be a lot of tokenization of assets. So you may end up that instead of having a physical building that you owned with a mortgage and somewhere, you may just have some Bitcoin worth of a building that you own, or you may not even know where it is. And as we know, with technology, really, especially with AI hitting, we know now that financial advice used to be based on that financial advisor knowing you and trusting you and trying to do things. Algorithms are being developed where financial advice will probably end up being a lot of AI-driven type advice. And again, we may get to a point, and I think it may get more and more to a point where when it's become too impersonal, there may be a need to actually create some sort of hybrid models where you're actually still working in the cyberspace, but you probably have the opportunity to actually be able to go in or maybe have virtual reality with a real person that would be able to talk with you and give you some ideas on banking. I think if you look at it, companies like I would say Apple, you can go into their stores, you see, you can do everything online, but they're beginning to also bring back some human aspect. And so there is a chance that when the banks have sort of streamlined and closed a lot of branches, they may end up having some customer centers in the future where we'll be able to do a combination of hybrid and virtual banking. But what I just wanted to throw out there is when we say I'm doing banking, to those of us, I'll say majority of us here, it's a completely different word from when we tell, especially the Gen Zs, that they're doing banking, because in as much as it involves a swap of assets, we're not talking about the same language. And your bank, you may be thinking that I want to drive 10 miles to go talk to my nice bank manager, to go see the teller. Our kids will probably never know what a checkbook looks like or what it is, but they're still going to be having a lot of these digital assets. We know, and I think many of us right now, we know that we don't even carry cash anymore because we had gone from we have gone from the physical fiat to the cards and the digital assets. But now we're gonna go to the crypto assets soon. And even those cards now, everything will be a chip that you just use either by going into your crypto wallet and doing those transactions. So as it evolves, we just need to be aware. We don't need to start getting too frustrated that, oh, my local high street bank closed, because everything is evolving with technology and we need to be comfortable with technology. We are blessed on this platform that a lot of people, I remember the other day, Brother Shaggy was helping us on our computer systems, which will help us with the online banking. As I said, we've been learning about cybersecurity, and some of all these elements should build a bit of comfort for us to actually be able to embrace these changes and move with them rather than get stuck in the past. Because if we get stuck, as our sister said, in the mindset, what we may end up doing is just watching the cage and not looking at where the world is going. I want to stop here. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to share some of these ideas. But I just thought that, again, let's just bring this to the fore so that I know we are living through the changes, but it might not be very obvious. And I thought maybe just throw it out there so that everybody is aware. I'm going to stop sharing and stop talking.
Woo-hoo! What did I say? Or what did we think it was going to be like?
Magnificent.
John,
Absolutely.
oh my goodness,
How can
is,
somebody make financial education so exciting? How
I'm
is it
telling
possible?
you, I'm telling you,
Thank you,
because
Dr. John. That was amazing. I
I
love
mean,
it.
it is a topic that even when you bring it to have just a mere conversation, even amongst your peers, it is usually sensitive. And that is when everyone just becomes silent, because there is just something around this conversation that brings discomfort. But look at how simple. Just, I mean, I'm saying simple based off of I was following, but because it's as straightforward as it can be.
Absolutely.
Oh my
Absolutely.
gosh. Even I don't think going to the websites of the financial institutions, I don't think they break it down for you and me to be able to read and get it the way we just did.
No, because Dr. John combines it with the personal part of it and the jargon, but they just have totally, all these terms you have to stop every minute to look it up, but this is not what he's done. You
No,
can get
no,
it. You can
no.
get it in
Oh
personal terms. Yeah.
my
Thank you, Dr.
goodness.
John.
Thank you so much, Dr. John. For me, my own contribution feedback will be the slide, the last slide. If I take nothing, the slide with the summary. That is it. That slide gives us everything. If we leave here, if the information was too much, but just if you can screenshot that slide or take it to your phone, hold it with you, and just make sure you look at it within the week. It gives you basically what you need to know and the awareness, the understanding of where we are now. Because I mean, so many times when you walk into your bank, do we realize now that we no longer have in-person spaces where you get into your bank and they receive you? That is exactly what this presentation is telling us. Now the drive-throughs have become where business takes place. Away from you coming, parking your car and walking into the offices. No, now is the drive-through.
Yep.
But that is a change. It has come.
Yes, it is.
And even sometimes when you request to come in and speak with your manager or speak with somebody, they need to first of all ask several questions. What are you coming in? What do we need to do? And they'll tell you sometimes we can resolve it while you're sitting on the drive-through. They don't, if it is not really something that is so complicated or sophisticated, they still will not allow you to walk into the office physically and have somebody to talk to. The change
Absolutely.
has come.
It has.
It has come. And
It's true.
I mean, then secondly, the other time for me, this is where I personally am still struggling. You know how Dr. John said the Gen Z and the younger, they are so confident, so fluent in using the phones and the apps, Cash App, Zelle, everything from their phone, purchasing everything. They just hold the phone and punch and bring out a code, and you see the QR code. It
Yeah.
scans,
Yeah.
payment, whether
Yeah.
it's bus ticket, whether it's
Mhm.
flight,
Mhm.
everything is done on
Absolutely.
their phone.
Yep.
So it is us who are still trying to catch up.
You know why that is the case though, Queen Canla, is because we're looking at the caged wolf. They don't have any caged wolf to look at. They don't know anything about wolf. Driving into the bank because you want to do a transaction is something that they can't even imagine unless there is no other way. They don't do
Correct.
that. They don't.
Correct. Absolutely. So this topic is really relevant at this moment, and moving forward, it will always be that relevant. So thank you, Dr. John, for that. I mean, I was just nodding my head and going. And then I think one more thing, then before I pass on, do we realize that we no longer even have the checks, like we say, order your checks to be used somewhere else? No more. Very
No.
few institutions now.
Yeah, it's true. And if you do try to do that, it's going to be so exorbitant because they're trying to mainstream you into doing it the correct way that they want it done. They don't want any checks to
No. Yes.
assess. No, they
No.
don't. They
They are
don't.
they are transitioning. They are transitioning
Yep,
away from you using those checks.
they are.
All right. Okay. I can just keep on going. Let me end there. Maybe if any other leader has any contributions, please let us welcome it, or if not, then we can move on to the Q&D, and then all the questions can come in.
I just want to add and say thank you, Dr. John. just to support what Queen Canla said earlier. Every time we see you on the schedule, we know we're gonna get something that is out of the ordinary. So thank you very much. You know, for some of us who are not Gen Zs, who are still old-fashioned, we get a little scared that something happens to my account. Who do I talk to?
Mm-hmm.
No, like he said, we don't know the bank managers anymore. We don't have that, the physical friends there that we can go in and ask a question. You start wondering if something happens, if I make a mistake doing some online banking and things didn't go well, who do I go talk to? But trust me, the kids, you give them a check, they're sitting right there in front of you and they deposit it and do everything and kind of like just tear the whatever you gave and it's in the trash.
Yes.
And I'm still here. I don't know how to do that, to deposit my check. I'll be calling my daughter, please, come help me with this. It's mom, you have to, you have to be, you have to know how to do these things, mom. Nobody has the time to be going to the bank. Nobody has the time to be helping you. What are we supposed to do? Go back to school?
So Queen Irene, it's just a matter of trying. Is the camera on your phone and follow instructions? But I mean, jokes aside, I think the moral of this story is that we need to go to school to move away from where we're stuck.
Yeah.
But then we also need to make sure that our kids are not they're just too blasé about the whole thing, because they have no clue about what the cybersecurity threats are. They may be good at keeping their passwords and so on, but the real threats, they know that people can lose money and so on. And yes, they are confident in not actually having to talk to anybody, but we need to really impress on them to learn about the security aspects of this account, because they are trusting that whoever set it up has taken care of it, which could be blind faith in its own. And then so we need to be reining them back a bit, and that's where maybe at some point the hybrid banking may actually be a useful idea, because it will be helping blend the two.
Yeah, absolutely. That is true, Dr. John. That is true. All right. We see Jen. Okay, Queen Jen Francis.
Yeah, greetings to everyone and happy new month.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow, my
You're
brother
welcome.
John, Dr. John, my brother. I hardly talk. I've always had background. I don't talk because it's unnecessary retweeting what other people say. But now I commend you and I urge you, my brother, to continue with topics like this.
Mm-hmm.
It's so enriching. As I said, Dream Team is the best. When you see me coming on with Dream Team, continue to educate some of us. With this crypto aspect, some of us are like null and void. We don't know what is going on. So I've learned a lot today. Papa, keep on going. Mia.
Hola.
Thank you. That's all I can say. Thank you. Keep going. I'm there.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you,
With
Queen
you, just
Jane.
know that when I'm in background, I don't say I listen and I don't talk unnecessarily. I talk only when it's necessary, because it's needless repeating things other people say. Thank you, Papa. God bless you all. We are together.
Very well said, Queen. Very well said. Thank you.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. All right. If no other
I'm here. Come on.
has anything.
Oh, Queen Dr. Benny is here. She wants to say
Gee.
something.
Now,
Yeah.
first, I just want to thank him. All right. When it comes to finance, we all need the dollars, right? Dr. John, I want to thank you for the outstanding presentation on the evolution of banking, your ability to connect the historical development with modern financial innovation was truly impressive. We are so grateful for your knowledge and your aspiration, as well as what you have done to provide us. When it comes to this checking stuff, you guys know that I'm the old-fashioned woman, mother. I always go to the bank and I make sure I get my checks because I have to write a check now to, like I have to pay my rent, right? I don't like to pay using my account. Online stuff. But I know that you guys are the younger people. But as for me, I have to write a check to pay my rent. But apart from that, our King Dr. John, as Queen Jane Francis said, you need to come back next month and next month and next month so you can teach us more about this finance business. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Benny.
Yeah, but
you,
hold on now.
Dr.
There was something
Benny.
you talk about the private key. I believe you guys know what he was talking about, right?
Yes.
Which is,
Yes.
good. The
Yes.
private key,
Yes.
which is against the public keys,
Yes.
which deals with the crypto. Oh, okay, fine, fine,
Mhm.
fine. I love you
Yeah.
guys for that.
Yeah,
Thank
okay.
you.
Thank you, Dr. Benny.
Our queen in cybersecurity. Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, thank you,
Yes.
Dr. Benny.
She's
And I mean, since it's been a while, you talked about that. I mean, you can incorporate that in your next cybersecurity as a refresher, because again, this is 2026, and as we are getting more into the era of the crypto, we even need it more to be able to understand and use those those functions.
Yep. The crypto
you.
is it's fast and it's fun, but you have to be really, really, really careful about what you do. As Dr. John said, the shift has come to the user. The responsibility has come to the user. I'll tell you a little story. I opened my email a couple of days ago and I saw that this great big huge charge was denied, and I thought, thank God. But we have ShakePay here. It's a platform that pays by crypto and also by the fiat. So I have a combination there. It's only Canadian, I think. Anyways, it looks as if somebody made one little error, and instead of going to the account that they meant for it to go to, came to my account. Dr. John, you know about that kind of thing, right? And thank God I had something called PAD, what is it? Pre-authorized debit turned off, right?
Yes.
Because we have the debit card here.
Yes.
And so obviously the charge did not go through.
Correct.
So I didn't have to go into anywhere, didn't have to go into any banking. I just called up ShakePay, and my voice is already a voice verification. So they knew who I was right away. And in 2 seconds, they told me everything was safe and good. And I was on my way. So what I'm saying is that you have to put those checks and balances in place. As Dr. John was talking about the Gen Zs and Gen Alphas, they're very quick and very adept at the technology, but the protections might not be as strong as they should be. So that is
Correct.
what we have to focus on. So Dr.
Correct.
Benny is going to train all her children
Correct.
onto how to mitigate these possible threats, right? Because it's not going to go away. It's not going to go back to going into your bank, going into your branch. It's not ever going back there. That's
No,
what I
it
have
would
to come
not.
to.
I mean, Dr. John also talked about while the policy makers are trying to catch up with the fast pace, also the bad guys who are the hackers or the scammers, they too are equally one step ahead. So
Absolutely. Yep.
yes, that is why this is really relevant today, and we need to take it
And in my instance,
seriously.
Dr. Queen Connor, it wasn't even a scamming attempt. It was just somebody made an error.
Correct.
And they have to go and deal with that now because obviously it wasn't crypto, it was fiat. So thank God for that. So it can be,
Exactly.
yeah,
I mean,
it can
because
be.
it so happened that when it meets a good-hearted person, then they will be lucky.
Absolutely.
But if that error was made and sent to someone who sees it as an opportunity, even though initially they did not intend it, but once an opportunity expresses itself in that manner, then you get to know the true personality of people, and then that is when some people say, "Oh no, I didn't ask for it. You sent it."
Yeah, absolutely. So yes, so we we have to get used to the convenience that's come our way, but we also have to be very, very vigilant.
Correct. Absolutely. All right.
There are some
Thank you.
comments in the chat, so if you want me to go ahead and
Yes, please.
Go
So right now, let's just dive into
Dr.
the
Bennett, you wanted to say
Q&A.
something else?
No. Go ahead and read. I was
Okay,
expecting
okay.
after this, now we can ask for question and answers. If anybody has any questions, and then
Okay.
our king
Yes.
will answer.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I will just read this. This is from iPhone. It says, with the volatility, insecurity, and lack of guardrails, the alternative digital money, example, crypto, is banking for the underworld. The lack of information, security, risk management is a panacea for disaster. I have no doubt that the risk outweighs the benefits. Do you want to address that, Dr. John? Do you think the risk outweighs the benefits? Or is it up to us?
That is really, to be honest, that's again, depends. If you look at it from those of us who are transitioning from this traditional to this crypto world, we have the history to be able to see those risks, because we were dealing with small amounts locked in a vault somewhere. Now, basically, when you go out there and you start looking at it and you say, okay, what is it that I'm trying to do? There are definitely concerns of underworld and the fact that there is this privacy and you don't really know where things are. And if you copy a wrong wallet address, you could lose your phone, your funds, as the digital platforms will tell you. There are definitely risks which people need to be able to be aware of when dealing, especially with crypto and digital currencies. But obviously, I personally see that there is still and absolutely there will be need for some sort of traditional banking or for some sort of way that you can store your assets. When we start getting to certain levels, obviously, for one, I think that even relying on the blockchain itself to have all your assets stored there carries a bigger risk than if you actually and I encourage everybody, when we start having a lot of digital assets, start getting what they call the cold wallets. The cold wallet, basically, when you get your crypto, you have your wallet now, like a MetaMask account or Trust Wallet or whatever. Those security phrases are stored on the blockchain. Okay. The blockchain is nothing other than a big computer code out there with what a computer ledger. The bad actors would get to it. Now you have the cold wallets. It's like literally, I have one which, I mean, there's not a lot of assets in it, but it's literally a credit card. And the security phrases are on the chip. They are not in the blockchain.
Right.
Okay, can I lose that card? Yep,
Yes.
can lose the card, and then there's a problem. But the card I have, for me to be able to see my balance, I actually have to connect it physically, like with my phone, or if it's one of those ones that actually has like a flash drive type device, you have to plug it into your computer, and your device will read the information on there. You can do your transactions. Once you finish and you disconnect them, that handshake that they had with the blockchain during the time you connected is disconnected. So yes, there are some of those type of risks we need to manage, and you find a lot of people are telling you that people that have significant amount of digital assets, they don't just rely on keeping them on the blockchain, because I had a MetaMask account that was hacked. And you cannot recover it once it's been hacked. So
Right.
anything I put in that account belongs to
Gone.
whoever has
Gone.
those security phrases.
Right.
If I move that MetaMask account to another device, to a different phone, it makes no difference because the security phrases never change. And so the only option I have, it was to abandon that wallet. Has nothing, the person has no value. If you start getting to the point where they're talking about tokenizing digital assets, then you may have to start looking into cold wallets, or they call them hardware wallets, because they are physically hardware. So it's a bridge. Again, that might be one of the ways where the hybrid technology is working. And who knows, in some future years, they may be using you as the way to authenticate, like your iris or your fingerprint, to be able to log into, get access to your code. So there are technology is addressing some of those things, and I think the hybrid technology, which really involves you and interacting with something, is going to help. Yes, there are advantages, as I shared there, that you don't, the convenience, the speed of transactions, especially in this our microwave society where everybody wants something like last week.
Fast. Yeah.
That becomes a risk that some people are prepared to take. And you may have situations where people would probably keep their stable coins in some bank or some vault, and then transfer the crypto to a more flexible one that they can use. So I think it's a matter of being aware of those risks.
Yes,
Not,
it
I
is.
mean, if you are aware of them, it's not that you're going to eliminate them, but you would take all the
The
necessary steps,
precautions. Yes, yes,
Yes.
yeah,
to
yes.
diversify.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dr. John. That's well said. And I hope everybody is listening to that. And then iPhone continues by saying, like AI, wait until some regulations are in place to protect your hard-earned money and interest. So their advice is to stop jumping on all this crypto stuff, and which is, yeah, AI is running right alongside with the crypto situation, in the sense that the regulations are not in front of the AI. It's trying to catch up. As I've always said. They're trying to put
Until you're dealing with my digital AI twin, and I'm thinking that you're dealing with me, right? So again,
yes, we're dealing at yes, exactly.
That is true.
That's
I
a
mean,
distinct,
we are seeing so many of them right now.
yeah, that's a distinct possibility, and who can
Yes.
tell, right? Okay, and you Queen Jane Francis has already spoken to you. She told you how awesome she knows that the presentation is. So thank you, my king, she says. And Dr. Benny, thank you, Dr. Ajongwen, for your magnificent presentation on the evolution of banking. And then I think she spoke of this, your depth of knowledge, clarity, engaging delivery made the session both informative and insightful. And we truly appreciate the valuable perspective you shared with us. And that is true. And Queen Jane Francis kept saying, I don't want this meeting today to end. You did it, my brother. Sense past king. That's what she said. I don't want the meeting to end. Thank God there's a recording. I don't want the meeting to end. And she kept saying that over and over. Oh, gosh. And Brother Patel, what is he saying? Excellent as usual, Dr. John. Joined a little late, but quite extraordinary presentation it was. We are now slowly living it without even knowing it. Yep. My iPhone is now my bank. There you go.
Yep.
And Queen Taylor said,
Affirmation.
yep, thanks, Dr. John, for another outstanding talk on banking. More of these talks are necessary to educate us going forward. Absolutely. And Queen Lerato said, thank you, Dr. John. That was awesome. And that's it for me in the questions and chat. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Queen Yvonne. Thank you, Dr. Benny, for coordinating that this section of our presentation, our webinar today. So at this time, I will call on Dr. John to give us the closing remarks. Over to you, Dr. John.
Wow, thank you very much once more, and really an honor to be back in the house. I've been coming, but I've been sort of sitting in the background and doing other stuff. We are in a world that is changing, and our queen, I mean, it's when you show up in the dream team, it's kind of funny because we end up actually having a situation where you get two people that come and talk, and somehow by some divine connection, those two things are aligned. Our queen just came and talked about us sitting in a cage and watching the cages, or actually stepping out and doing something about it. And over the last couple of months, I've been watching again, our queens and kings have been bringing snippets in as to how we need to be thinking about things in the digital space. And so this one also just is to look at it that at the end of the day, when we have spent our energy to earn money, whatever currency it is important that we know where we're putting it. And we grew up knowing that the vault was the safest place to put it. Now we live in a world where we don't actually touch the money. In fact, if you remember, people who used to work used to be given a physical paycheck. That's where that word came out. It was a paycheck that they would stand on a line, take that check, and actually go to some place and physically deposit it. Now your paycheck is just a sentence. You look at it online, everything is electronically deposited. And I don't know whether anybody really examines that paycheck line by line like they used to do the paper one. But the world is changing. There is an evolution. Those of us who have experienced the earlier phases, we can be overwhelmed by the degree of changes. At the other extreme, we have all these Gen Alphas and the Gen Zs who don't know anything about the history of where we were and why things are very difficult. So Dr. Benny, your kids who don't understand why the heck you're sticking to checks and not moving around with the world, but you have your reasons, and somewhere we need to understand this evolution, understand the risks and the benefits, and more importantly, educate ourselves on how to manage the risks. There is nothing that we're going to do without the risk. Even in those early days, we knew about the bank heists that used to take place. We know of tellers that used to just transfer like 1 cent out of every person's account, and in the end, they stole millions of dollars. So the risks were there. The degree of the risk may have changed with the speed of how things are going. All I'm saying is we need to just understand that the future is going digital, and we just need to be comfortable with it. We need to be 100% aware of the risks, and we need to be able to help educate ourselves so that we can make the best use of all these new technologies that are approaching us at such a fast pace. So I hope that, again, from some of your comments, this was a useful discussion. I put the whole thing in 15 slides. I'm gonna just share it with the dream team. They can throw the slides out there. If you feel like you're looking at them, you take them, and then you may remember 1 or 2 things from them. But it was an honor to be here, and I hope that we'll be having some more of these sessions in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. John. Thank you. We appreciate you. We love you. And we look forward to the next session that we are going to continue with this presentation. And it will be incumbent on us to spread the word, Bring in many more of our families who may be away. Tell them that something is cooking here. There is a hot topic going on here. So, let everyone come and listen and go home enriched, go home educated, and go home transformed. So thank you. Thank you. It is our honor to listen to you every time you come in. So thank you. All right. We have come to the end of our webinar today. So for those of us who are here, like Dr. John said, he has a hard stop coming up in a few minutes. So we will be rounding up for the webinar today so we can allow ourselves some time to be able to jump into the next meeting that is coming up. I think it feels like we should not go. I'm just speechless. I feel like I want to say something, but I'm holding myself back.
I know.
But we have to go if we have to. If we want Dr. John to come back the next time. So yes.
Exactly.
All right.
Yes. So
we want him to come back, so we'll go.
Yes, please. We have yes. Let us try.
Listen, you guys, anybody who cares can download the presentation on the chat.
Beautiful.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Dr. John. Thank
So
you.
our family on YouTube, I know you are not here on the Zoom. How can we put it on there? But except they will just have to be, it will be posted in each of our chat forum. We have the the different chat forum 1 to 4. So don't worry if you are not on the Zoom. This is equally going to be posted on each of the chats, and you will be able to download it from there. So thank you to our family on YouTube. We want to take this moment to say,
Queen Canla, sorry to interrupt.
Queen Canla, there's a hand up.
iPhone has his hand
Oh,
up.
okay.
I think it's Brother Shaggy.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay, all right. Over to you.
He dropped off. Mr. iPhone, where are you?
iPhone?
He didn't want me to come back, so that's good.
Oh, okay. All right then.
All right. Have
a good one, Dr. John.
Yeah.
You
Thank
too.
you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye, our
little
family on
distracted today.
YouTube.
Bye.
Yes, just permit me 1 second. Let me just, as a reminder to our family on YouTube, the weekly other forums and presentations we do have. Please do not forget Queen Miriam and Dr. Derek Mondays. If you are able, please join them. And then we have Deep Dive Globally Changing Lives on Tuesdays and Thursdays. That is also another opportunity for you to stay updated. And then we have our twin sisters, Yvonne and the other Queen Yvonne, where we have
Tuesdays and Thursdays live.
meetings.
Yeah.
Now the schedule, the schedule has changed. It is on Tuesdays and Thursdays where they have the live, and then the rest is recording.
Thank you.
So another opportunity for you to join them. And on Thursday mornings, we do have the Singapore, Malaysia. You can equally join them. And then come Sunday, we are back with the Dream Team. So please let us leverage these different forums and stay updated in our business and stay connected in the family that we have built. Thank you. And you all have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful week and stay blessed. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Stay blessed and stay warm, everybody.
Oh, yes. For those of us who are
Pastor Shaggy.
under the weather, this
Bye, everyone. We
icy
are in
weather.
Bye, Queen.
Bye, everyone. God bless you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.